Okay, hi there. I'm going to try and give you a winter update on the greenhouse. So here we go. This is January 31st, February 1st, and we finally got a warm, sunny day. And I'll show you what's happened to the greenhouse. As you can see here, there's this is the north side with the door open, and if you look at the wall, you'll see some damage from some water. And we got really heavy rains, and I didn't have everything in place in time, so it kind of became a mess, and the water eroded through the plaster and started eroding into the adobe, and now I have clumps of adobe on the ground off my wall. What I tried to do to remedy this is I built some kind of concrete. I made some emergency adobe in the middle of winter, built up a little edge here, and then I put some concrete on it to seal the top and give it kind of a shape to run off the water. And then I took some duct tape to give me a seal here. I think water might be going in there, and that seems to have helped a little bit. I need to redo this. Obviously, it's cracked and it leaks and it isn't properly sloped. But I think once I have it correctly put in the summer when it's warm out and it can dry properly and maintain its strength, and I can maybe put some chicken wire in it or something, then it'll be a permanent solution for the rain runoff. Because you got a big dome, a lot of surface area, and all that water runs down. And here you can see was probably the worst place. It had a lot of water running off until I got the concrete in, and it did a lot of damage to the wall. It's dried now. And over here we had damage, but this is adobe, so it's not a big deal. I can just make a batch, slap it up, and call it good. Not a problem to fix. It just ideally you would be able to have some kind of overhang. I don't have any more material, so I just took what I had and threw it on. And I'm trying to make it into a rain catchment. That would be ideal, is to have this perfectly sealed, not cracking. Like you could see over here where it didn't get a lot of sun, it didn't crack too bad, and it maintained its strength. So maybe if I can get out here in the summer and get it real good and sealed and not cracking, I can get it to run off and then just put a rain barrel here and have a little spout, and it just goes into a barrel, and then I use that water. So that's the water issues we've had. Real heavy rain day after day after day, and it was totally unexpected, and it totally caught me by surprise, and it did its damage. On the inside, it came in to the greenhouse as well. You can see here where it kind of started coming in and draining down and created a little run. There's no earthen plaster here, so it's just adobe, so of course it's going to erode quickly. Over here, I got it to stop eroding by putting the cement, but yeah, we kept getting rain, and over here it's still slightly wet, and there's mold. So I'm going to have to really get on this summer to get the water to run off properly and stay dry. And over here you can see it actually got to a point where you can see the tire underneath there. There's my tire. So I'm glad I have tires reinforcing this, because if it was just adobe, it would be a pile of mush right now. And that's the extent of the damage, and I got it controlled. It's drying out, and things are getting better with the concrete cap on the outside. and the duct tape. Let's see. We had an issue with the plastic tarp. We get 80-mile-an-hour winds here, and what happened was the plastic tarp pushed off of the end here, and opened up and gave me some kind of a nice breeze through my greenhouse. So what I did was I think it might have been up there actually. I took it off, the boards I took off, and I stapled many times. I stapled the plastic to the frame of the dome and then put the board back on with a couple extra screws. You could probably see on this board there's like maybe 4 screws, but on that one there's about 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, there's 8. So it's double the amount of screws to keep that plastic from pulling through. When the screws are just holding it, it can actually pull away if it gets enough, like on the edge. It was just on the edge where it happened. And then there was another spot up top where it happened. And I fixed them, and it hasn't been a problem since. So when you're doing the edges of these guys, you definitely want to staple and put extra screws in your boards. And then you probably won't have to worry about the wind ripping it off. What else happened? Oh, we had a temperature problem. We got sun, and then all of a sudden we got cloudy, freezing fog for many days. So our thermal mass had no sun, and we got very cold temperatures, and we lost a lot of plants, and there wasn't much we could do. We even had this little electric heater running, and it couldn't keep up. So I found a method I'm testing currently. This is compost. I have a big compost pile in here. I took a bunch of tires and made a little ring here and just threw my compost, and keeping it watered has been a problem because the pipes freeze and everything. But hopefully, it brought the temperature up a little bit and kept it a little bit warmer, but not quite enough. I'm not quite happy with how warm it was. I'm gonna definitely have to do something with the plastic. Maybe before next winter I will replace it with some kind of insulating clear material like acrylic or polyurethane or whatever they use, because the plastic doesn't hold the heat very well, and the thermal mass can't keep up when you get 2 weeks of no sun. But yeah, right now the sun is out and it's actually hot in here, and it'll heat up and keep it warm for at least overnight and into the next day. Maybe after about 2 days you'll lose your heat enough to get cold in here. Anyway, so in the meantime I built these raised beds, and I took the hardy plants from our garden and threw them in here, and some of the house plants and threw them in here. And we have a mix of results. We got an aphid infestation that started in the garden and moved into the house with the house plants, and then came into the greenhouse and killed just about everything we had, except for the ones that could survive the combination of cold, aphids, and the spray that I used to kill them. I had to get some nicotine spray and some neem oil spray to kill them off, and then I got them killed off, and this is what's left. So we have little, I think these are orange trees or some kind of trees, and some kind of flower, house flower, I don't know. This was lemongrass. I don't know why it died. It just got, I think my wife left it out in the water and the roots flooded, and it just slowly died even though it was in great soil. These are little roses we got. They seem to be okay. Little new growth going on in there. And that's some kind of chard. So it's chard or something. And some kind of tree we're trying to start. These are some onions out of the garden. They got pretty big. We're trying to do peas along here and green beans. These green beans didn't make it through the cold snap that hit the greenhouse. I guess we'll have to start them over. And these are blackberry cuttings. We're trying to start blackberries. And I've got these bags. I took my pellet stove bags and recycled them and made pots for my plants. Kind of neat idea. And over here we got some oregano. This really is a true winter crop. This loved the cold. It grew like crazy. I cut it back several times. Bugs didn't even phase it. Now it's going crazy. It's got like new growth everywhere. It's doing really good. All that white stuff is diatomaceous earth. You can see I tried everything to get rid of those bugs. And there's parsley from the garden. I think that's another onion. And little chives, little beets, and I don't know, those are probably dead onions. We got some strawberries. They're hanging in there, making a comeback. The carrots aren't. I think this one's coming back, actually. We finally got some sunlight in here. But yeah, lack of sunlight, short days, cold weather, really, really hard on the greenhouse without the proper heating and everything. So there's our worm bin. I haven't really been attending to it, so I'm going to try and get that going as soon as I can, but it's there, it's in place, and we put a little table in and covered our compost. And hopefully that compost, I just mixed it, so it should heat up and get real warm in here. And I think, you know, you can see the insulation we put in. It's pretty thick insulation. I sealed all the seams. I got it really tight, and it holds heat. I mean, it does its job. Just this plastic, it can't hold the heat. So next year, maybe we'll have those problems resolved, and it'll be a lot less trouble. That's all.